Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff's Reeftank here. Another update on my 300-gallon office tank. So for this update, just want to give you guys an idea of the new light that I picked up from Home Depot. This is a grow light that I picked up from my local store, and the reason I had to pick it up is because my Kessil H380 was pretty much going on and off intermittently. I wasn't aware. Sometimes it comes on, I see the lights, and I'm out of the office for the evening, so I'm not too sure if the light was functioning or not until I checked my apex. And then I realized that the light was turning on for like 1 minute and then shutting off. Turning on, off, back and forth. So the actual decadal was starting to die, and I didn't know. So I ended up getting cyano in the main display, and I couldn't get rid of it I treated it and came back, treated it, came back. Normally that has something to do with the nutrients in the tank. So I think the combination of the H380 not functioning correctly and the decadal dying off was putting nutrients back into the system. So once I realized that, I contacted Kessil, and they went ahead and sent me out a replacement, a brand new unit, since my unit was still under warranty. And in the interim, I did pick this fixture up right from Home Depot, 60 watts, and it's actually working better than my H380, because the H380 was mounted pretty much right up there, right above my Refugium, and it was burning out the decadal right on the top because it's very intense and it's more of a spotlight. So this fixture, as you can tell, this is where I put it. So it ends up lighting up the entire side of the Refugium. So where the H380 wasn't hitting to the bottom of the Refugium, but just pretty much the top portion was getting the light. So now I have it so it's pretty much is lighting all along the side. So the decadal wasn't growing on the bottom, but now it went fully down to the bottom of the section that I have dedicated for the decadal. So it's pretty much packed. It's packed in there. So I'm going to clean it out today, take a portion of it out, but it's actually working better than the H380. So I do have the new unit, but I do have to return the one that was broken, and that one will be, I guess, just returned to Kessil. So what ended up happening with the unit itself is the fan, the shaft that connects to the propeller and the fan. For some reason, whatever connection I have there, it started to wear out. So it would be running when it starts, and then once it gets up to speed, it would just shut off. The unit would overheat, and it would turn out that we just turn off the unit just for safety purposes, so the unit doesn't catch fire. So that's what was happening with my Refugium and my Kessil. So I'm glad the customer service is pretty good. I found my receipt from Bulk Reef Supply, and there are no issues with them and their customer service. Everything worked out well. But I think I'm going to run this fixture for a while since it's working better, and I do have a spare H380 now for just to have on the shelf as needed. All right. Other than that, there's a lot of growth in the tank, much more than what I anticipated. Even starting with this bird's nest here. This is a Tidal Gardens bird's nest that I picked up, and I'm probably going to do another video to show how fast the corals actually grew in my tank. But I would say I just rough measurement. I just took a measurement there. It's around 10 and a half, 11 inches in width, and it's still growing. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the last couple of videos, you could see the second bird's nest underneath, the sour apple. That was pretty much, I had full exposure to the light, but now this one is growing over it. So I'm gonna have to do some trimming of corals and some relocations of other corals, and try to get an idea of where everything is gonna land. So I have a lot of stuff still in the sand bed that hasn't yet been secured to the rock, but even frags such as this one. This one was around 2 inches long, and it's starting to take off. This green slime is starting to take off. I actually cut the 2-inch stick that I have when I bought it in half, and this is the other one here, and they're both taking off like crazy. So another frag that I got, pretty sure this is Tidal Gardens as well. Monty's are definitely doing well in my tank. And Pacellophoras, and yeah, so pretty much everything is growing well, and just got to be careful what I buy. And just came from a frag swap out yesterday that was out in Connecticut, Fragtoberfest, and believe it or not, I left the frag shop without picking up anything. Just looking at what was there and knowing what I have in my tank, I think at this point I have to be careful what I add to it, and to make sure that I put the right corals in the right locations. So give you guys a quick look around the other side. This is the side view, so you can see, yeah, how the tank looks long ways. So it's coming along nicely. And on this side, so this piece of the digitata was actually connected to here, and I was just cleaning the sand one day and I broke that piece off myself, so I put it here, and it's probably doubled in size since when I located it there. This is another one I got from the Reef shop in the Bronx, New York. It's probably maybe 3 inches, a little mini colony with 3 branches on it, and this thing is blowing up. It's pretty soon I'm gonna have some basketball size acros in here, which is gonna be awesome. So you can see the growth on this one here. It's growing with the flow. So I have one power head on this going this way, and actually the returns for my from my sump, they're all going the same direction. So right now I have everything on constant flow, and that's pretty much the only coral that's showing the growth pattern that's going along with the flow. It's probably a fast grower, but that coral was pretty much not moving at all for the first 6 months that I had it, and then the last 3-4 months it's been moving pretty quickly. So, yep, got a table in acro here, starting to table out. I put a couple of frags back there, you can see, and the other frags are starting to take over. Green digitata here as well. So yeah, these Montes, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, because they're certainly going to be plate-sized Montes in a little while. So yeah, everything seems to be coming along pretty well. Purple stylo. I went a lot with basic corals when I first started picking up corals for my tank, just to make sure that they were going to grow nicely. So there's no really super fancy high-end frags here, but everything is just growing. I mean, this guy here was a frag, and I put it on the sand, and at this point I think I'm going to keep it there because it's already growing up 4 or 5 inches off the sand bed. So yep, this guy here hasn't moved for a while, and then you can see all the tips all of a sudden starting to take off. So yeah, so everything is going pretty well in the tank, you know, besides the cyano and that H380. But all I'm doing now is just changing the CO2 in my calcium reactor, doing water changes every 3 weeks, 44 gallons, and then yeah, just cleaning the glass. It's pretty much what I'm doing, and feeding the fish. So pretty quick update this month, but that's the latest from my reef tank, and hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for following along, and I'll continue to give you guys updates. All right, later guys.